Hey everyone, Justin with Deep Dive Stocks here, and today we're going to be doing a quick dive into Tesla. Now, you may not remember, but almost a year ago exactly today, I did a video very similar. Hopefully this one's a little bit more better quality. Last year we had some bullish outlooks and Tesla rose 15% over the next week. So let's go ahead and see if we have luck on our side this time as well. Let's get started. As usual, we're going to go ahead and start with VoEx. If you're not too familiar with VoEx, don't worry. Quick summary, there's three zones: the inhibition zone, the stable zone, and the propagation zone. VoEx in one of these three zones typically indicates a certain type of price action. When VoEx is inside of stability, it typically means that a price will continue to appreciate, and when VoEx is in the propagation zone, it means that the price will typically fall. These are two examples we're going to see here today. And for the other zones and other findings and other ways that you can see VoEx, I definitely recommend checking out the video down in the description that goes over just VoEx in a little bit more detail than we have time to today. But first things first, like with all VoEx graphs, let's look at the recent VoEx behavior. That way we can contextualize the current VoEx behavior. The first thing we'll note is that VoEx has just recently moved out of the propagation zone into stability. In fact, VoEx fell into the propagation zone last year in November, I think November 3rd of 2022, at about $240. Tesla's VoEx stayed in the propagation zone for 105 days, during which it lost like 45% of its value, moving from a price of $242 all the way down to $130. A pretty significant move, and thankfully VoEx gave a very nice heads up for that. And then after that, VoEx rose into stability and the price has continued to appreciate. In fact, ever since rising into stability, Tesla has risen 36%, and that's pretty good, right? And now that VoEx is inside of stability, the main question is there anything to go against the argument that VoEx is now indicating that Tesla is stable? And for that, we would typically look for VoEx spikes, or we would look to see if VoEx was aggressively moving into the inhibition zone, especially with Tesla's more recent, pretty rapid price appreciations. And we see that this isn't the case. Ever since VoEx entered into stability, it has been relatively calm and it's maintained its course inside of stability between those two horizontal lines, even in the face of some pretty large price appreciations. And so colloquially, we can say that the market is okay with what Tesla's doing, and what Tesla's doing right now is moving up. So the market is okay with Tesla moving up. That's what VoEx is telling us. One of the ways that we can look out to see if this changes, if some dynamic underneath Tesla or some dynamic in the market makes it to where the market is no longer okay with Tesla moving up, is simply if VoEx falls back into the propagation zone, or if it spikes, but if it starts doing anything crazy. And so now that we see that VoEx is giving us the green light for a bullish thesis on Tesla, let's look at the local hedging environment to get a little more sense of what's happening locally. It is worth noting that Tesla did just exit a gamma squeeze on Pi Day. March 14th was its last day in a gamma squeeze, and it was in a gamma squeeze for about a week prior. And the benefit is that now that Tesla is no longer in a gamma squeeze, when we look at its hedging environment, we see that it is remarkably stable. We have some pretty potent selling pressure located spot up, but even more importantly, especially with the current environment and macro happenings, we have significant purchasing support located spot down. This is very ideal because if Tesla does start to dip, maybe in the normal course of fashion, this purchasing support will help prop up the equity and kind of give a little bit of assurance to the organic bid throughout the market that everything is okay. Or it could, in and of itself, propel the stock directly upwards, depending on how aggressive or how much the hedging requirement or the purchasing that the options dealers have to perform is. And so having that spot down, and especially spot down IV up purchasing support, is a very nice pairing with VoEx, which is giving us a very medium to long-term bullish outlook. And now we see that we have a very supportive outlook on the near term in the local hedging environment as well. To more directly see the benefits of having this purchasing support, all we have to do is look at last week or the week that just passed. And if we look at the movement of Tesla throughout the hedging environment, we see that once Tesla got into that purchasing support on March 14th, 2023, that island of purchasing support helped lock Tesla in, and every time it tried to dip down, it did so with less vigor than the next day when it shot back up. Classic purchasing support supplied by options dealers. And this is why it's so important or so conducive, especially if you have a bullish outlook, to have significant purchasing support located at least somewhere nearby on the hedging environment. And so overall, what do we have? We have VoEx that is telling us that Tesla is stable and actually has been for the past 30% that it's risen. We can maintain this bullish outlook per VoEx as long as VoEx doesn't start spiking or fall back into the propagation zone. And then in the more immediate and local environment, we see that Tesla has some pretty substantial and very nice sight for sore eyes purchasing support located spot down, volatility up. So these two data points together paint a pretty bullish picture for Tesla, and just like I did last year, most likely I will be following the data where it may take me. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for stopping by. Definitely, if you haven't, check out the videos in the description below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Happy trading, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.